Hi, and welcome to BHC. Today, we are having a chat with a friend of mine I've known for about 15 years at least, I think. And his name is Micha. And I started off, did this interview a couple of weeks ago on Zoom. And I started off by asking Micha the sort of things that he used to do, as he was a pretty healthy sort of guy. So let's have a listen to it.
Early jobs have been all sorts, from driving various trucks and things, but also milking cows, and then generally working with cattle on farms. Quite physical sort of stuff.
So would you have said that you were pretty fit?
Yeah, for most of my life, yeah, been pretty good. Looked after myself. Had the moments where you gain a bit of weight and stuff, but yeah, generally okay.
So, what exactly happened that you had to give up work and change your lifestyle?
I was at the time working for Sainsbury's supermarkets doing the delivering, home delivery. So it's quite a physically demanding job. And I'd noticed I was having a little bit of back issues, but you kind of think, oh, well, it's just because I'm carting lots of shopping around and things. Didn't really pay any mind. And then one day I'm at work and I pick up a box of shopping. It probably weighed around 20 kilos, maybe, which was normally nothing. And it just felt like somebody stuck a knife in the base of my spine.
Right.
And I just dropped the shopping and collapsed. Was then rescued, obviously, and brought back, by staff. I managed to phone up and they came and got me, and we went to the hospital. They kind of dismissed everything a little bit. But when I spoke to a GP who'd obviously dealt with people with this sort of thing, he wanted to do other testing. He didn't think it was just I'd pulled a muscle or, that sort of stuff. So it was like 1 minute I'm fit and strong and the next minute I can barely get out of bed. It was that sort of sudden.
So, when you went and had some tests, what did they discover?
They discovered that I had a thing called Axial Spondyloarthritis. What's happened is I have a gene called HLA-B27, I think it is.
Yeah.
That's they think that does something to my immune system, and it's created an inflammatory condition in my spine, which obviously is in the arthritis kind of family. It's also affected what they call my sacral joints, where your pelvis and your spine join, so that they're degrading. So what they found was there was lots of inflammation in my spine, and they also found that there was bone marrow sort of what they call bone marrow edemas, so like in the bone.
So the pain just got worse and worse, and you became less and less able to do things.
Yeah, I mean, I went from being able to run up and down stairs with shopping, delivering and everything, to getting out of bed slowly, using the stick to even go to the loo or get a drink or just to do anything day to day. I'd gone from being, like you say, fit and strong to being almost unable to look after myself.
So the other day I saw you on farm, and you've done a few things. Tell us a bit about what you have done, how the changes have had effect.
I was just looking through YouTube at different videos and things, not looking for anything in particular, and I came across somebody talking about how they'd changed their diet to a carnivore-based diet. So they'd cut out the carbs and the sugars and stuff. And they'd noticed how, like, they felt better, they'd lost weight, they just generally felt better. And they'd also had a few conditions of skin conditions that had cleared up. I thought, oh, okay, that's interesting. So then I looked at some other things, and I saw Jordan Peterson and his daughter, Michaela Peterson, and they'd done the similar thing. And his daughter had an autoimmune condition as well. Come off all of her drugs, and she was doing so much better and was living with the condition rather than living to treat the condition. And it just got me thinking, there's got to be something in this if people are feeling that much better just by changing their diet. So I just thought I'd give it a go, and people online said give it a go for a month, see what happens. You're not going to lose out on anything. And if you do lose some weight, it's just a bit of a bonus sort of thing.
Okay, so you change your diet. What was your diet like before?
I suppose it'd be just that kind of like standard mixed kind of thing where, one day you might eat healthily and have like, chicken and the vegetables and stuff. Or another day you might have a pizza. And then another day it might be like, I was making ready meals myself, freezing them.
Yeah.
Because if I was having a very bad day, you tend to not eat because you don't want to have the trouble of cooking. So I'd microwave meals in freezer pot.
So you started changing your diet. How did that work out? What did you stop? What did you start?
I changed it to things like I'd have the bacon and eggs in the morning, steak and some eggs or something in an evening, or mince, and usually with some sort of eggs or a bit of cheese, but it's mainly the meat and sort of animal product.
Yeah.
So I've taken out anything that's grown or bred, completely took them out and just gone to what is animal based.
So what have you noticed since you've done this?
Since I've done this, my weight has gone down, and it is continuing to. It's slowed down a bit now, but it is continuing to slowly go down. So in just over 2 months, as far as I've worked out, I'm about 11 kilos lighter than I was.
Yeah.
I've gained a lot of weight.
11 kilos is very good. That's something like 24 pounds. Well done.
Yeah, it was surprising how, because I'm a conditioner, I wasn't really doing a lot of physical activity. So it's not because I've been exercising more or anything like that. It's just been what I've changed in my diet.
And how are you feeling? Are you moving better?
Yeah, I'm able to go on walks and things now much more. I still have my problems and I still have difficulties, but I just feel like if somebody says to me now, do you want to come out? I can. I know that I'll still maybe hurt tomorrow or something, but before I wouldn't even want to go because I know that just doing the activity would hurt.
And what about your mind clarity?
That's changed quite a lot. Partly I think because the drug usage has come down, so the pain medication side has changed massively. So the drugs have cleared out of my system, but just generally, I'm starting to feel like I remember things more. I'm wanting to do things. I get bored from sitting down and doing nothing now and things like that. So there's a definite change in the way your brain works.
So this is 2 months in, but how long was it actually from when you started till you noticed a difference?
I started to notice differences probably 3 weeks in. So 3 weeks in, I just started to think, I just feel different. My clothes started to feel different the way they were on me, and just generally little things like that. And you just start thinking, hold on a minute, I just feel a bit more, I feel like I've got a bit more energy. And I didn't feel like I had to take the painkillers all the time. Noticing suddenly those bigger gaps between when you were taking stuff.
So have you found it a lot more expensive to eat this way?
Depends on what you're going to eat. If you're going to try and have the fancy sort of cuts of meat, you're going to pay more for them.
Yeah.
Obviously the size of them and stuff, but I work it in the sense of that if I can have steak a few times in the week, great. But if it's got to be mince or some sort of burgers, but you look at the ingredients and make sure there's not certain things in there.
Yeah.
And bacon, you can buy in big packs, and quite often they're on deals in places.
Yeah.
And when you see deals, I buy it and freeze it. And
there are ways around the price.
Yeah. One of the things that changed dramatically with me changing my diet was my blood pressure.
Yeah.
The doctor heading me down the route of taking medication for blood pressure because it was high. At the beginning, I was 175 over 102, which is really high. And well, this morning I did it and it was 135 over 86. No medication, just outside the good. So I'm balancing on, just in the top of the good sort of range.
Yeah.
So I can only see that getting better over time if I keep in the direction I'm going.
Yeah.
It's very common for people to stall when you go on this type of diet to start with. And what we got to watch is that we continue to eat some fat, but not too much fat, so that the body will start using our own fat if we want to get rid of a little bit more weight. So what did the doctor say to you about your blood pressure when it started dropping like this? Did he notice? What did he say?
It was a nurse. I went for because of my condition and the medication I'm on, I go for blood tests every 3 months. And I went for this blood test, and she's like, I said, like, oh, my blood pressure was really high last time I came in. She said, oh, I'll check it again then. And she checked it and checked it and checked it and checked it and looked at me and went, what have you done? What medication have they put you on? I said, they've not. And I told her what I'd done. And she just went, right. So, because the number I'm getting on the machine is a long way away from the number on my computer.
So did she start making any comments that you'd cut carbs out?
Yes. She sat there and said, as my job, I'm not allowed to comment on this. And then she said, but off the record, my sister does this and she's very healthy and fit and slim. She said, so she just laughed herself and just was like, I'm not allowed to guide you that way. But
that's amazing.
You know, so she was on my side and she said, it's obviously working because everything's going back to normal.
Well, that is excellent. And it just goes to show that when we change what we eat, things in our life can change as well. So thank you, Micha. It's been really interesting, and we'll catch up again in a little while to see how things are progressing. Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully it keeps going in the right direction and I can keep doing it. Yeah.
Well, thanks for that, Micha. That was really informative. And I was catching up. I sent Micha a text while I was doing some editing on this, and he has just assured me that he's lost even more weight in the last couple of weeks and still going on with the journey. So it can change your life completely when you start cutting back on the carbs. And we have lots of people that have not only lost weight, but their health has changed. And that's what we need to be focusing on, a change in our health. So until the next time, thanks for watching. Like and share and do whatever you want. Thanks. Be blessed. Bye-bye.